Welcome everyone to this Fire and Ice podcast. It's not episode 2, it's probably a special edition, I'm going to call it actually. Myself and Chris, we're watching the F1 live and we're sort of going to do a podcast during. Hopefully something interesting happens. Are you excited, Chris? Excited for the draft ordering, the race?
I'm very excited. Being somebody who was into F1 traditionally for a long, long time and lost a lot of love of it when certain teams just started just ridiculously winning. Lewis obviously did it. Previous to that, we had what was his name? Who was the
Not Rosberg.
He's just retired.
Rosberg.
No, he's just retired. This is going to really annoy me now. It's completely irrelevant.
It's going to come back to you. Yeah, I don't watch
German.
F1 anyway. Schumacher.
Yeah,
I know Schumacher. Was it Schumacher?
No. He was his son's mates with him though. He actually looked up to him. Fuck, that's going to annoy me now for ages. But yeah, it's neither here nor there. But yeah, it's recently obviously got back into it again. But then this year I just lost all interest when Verstappen was winning everything. So this is a phenomenal way of kind of piquing my interest again. Really excited and devastated over how the qualifying went.
Didn't go well, did it? Vettel's come to mind. Was it Vettel? Sebastian Vettel?
It was, yes.
Right.
It was.
See, I'm not even into F1, and I know it was.
Thank you.
Yeah, qualifying. That didn't go well for Norris at all, did it?
That did not go well for Norris. I was very happy with Norris. I'd asked Shane to have a special word with him, and he obviously said the opposite for me.
Well, he's going to do that, isn't he? He's going to tell them not to. And Piastri's around the bottom as well, isn't he? I want to say he's like...
Yeah, I mean, the McLarens are slow. The McLarens are ridiculously slow right now. But, looks like what your little giddy up to Kevin Magnussen did the right trick.
I'm pretty happy with Magnussen. I mean, I haven't really watched a race in a couple of years, but he seemed fast.
They look right on the pace.
And Hulkenberg he's not that far away from it as well, I want to say. 11, 12?
The higher up, obviously what happened at the end of Leclerc kind of did change things quite drastically, but getting up that high for our league, for what it means for us, like that's a lot of cars between you and say 5th and 6th place in the league. So unless there's an accident, which is highly likely around here to be fair, it's very tight, some very technical corners. You really could be in for a good shot for getting that second, or even third.
That could be good.
Could
be good.
Be excited.
Just for everyone on the pod right now. So, what is it called when they go up for the first lap before the start? The out lap, or?
Yes.
Okay, so the cars are on the out lap right now.
Warm up lap.
Yeah, so we've got about 2 minutes before the off, something like that.
About that, yeah. We have got a slight delay between the two of us. I've had to come into the different room. So I'm on Sky Go, so it's slightly slower, frustratingly. So Mark's promised not to give anything away.
I'll keep the reactions. If Magnussen goes out on the first corner, you'll see me go like, oh. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But I don't know F1, but from what people are saying, so you and Keith were talking yesterday, Miami is not good for overtaking. Is that right?
It's just a tight track.
Okay.
There's a lot of technical areas. It's not anywhere near the case of like a Monaco. It's only the second year they've been racing it. So last year was the first time. They're literally in the Dolphins car park. I'm looking at it now. It's a very tight track. I think they've done a couple of things this year to like they've elongated chicanes and stuff to try and make it a bit more kind of a bit faster. But yeah, I think overtaking is going to be difficult. Especially when we're talking about these lower rated cars. Sorry if you can hear the kid. So it's exciting. But yeah, who do we? So we're just obviously. Sorry, I'm distracted here by looking at this. So before we kind of get off the off, what are you hoping for? Like, if in an ideal world, what pick are you getting?
For me, I want to be top 5. The reason I say that is I want a QB, and you're sort of talking what Mahomes 1, Allen 2, Burrow 3, and then you're probably Hurts and Herbert, and then you sort of go off a little bit of a cliff.
Lamar.
Yeah, Lamar, Trevor Lawrence. Sort of yeah, and then and then if you're at 6, you're sort of thinking, oh, I could get Justin Jefferson here, and that plays Jamar, and then Jamar Chase is in there. So I want to be top 5 would be ideal, and then if I'm not top 5, I don't know if I want to be nearer the back. I don't know. It's difficult. It's really difficult right now.
When I first got Lando, I did 2 or 3 mocks, and I was very happy with what was coming out of that draft. Most of them were like, I was picking like 1, 2, or 3. I was very happy with the final team. Since yesterday's qualifying, Kid and Missus have been away, so I've been not much to do. So I've done like 4 or 5 mocks and picking from 10, 11, 12. And it doesn't fill me with much joy. It doesn't fill me with much joy. I think there's a big question when you're picking up those sorts of numbers. Like, what do you want from your team?
Yeah.
Like, are you kind of going, right, Dynasty League, I'm prepping for Dynasty. Or are you going, fuck it, I'm going in year 1, going to win it now, taking some vets, and away we go, because I've kind of been screwed from the draft.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's quite interesting. So here we go. There's, you must be kind of very close. My screen is... They're just all starting to line up onto the grid.
They've gone for me. We're just round the first corner and there's a spin out. I don't know. That was someone at the back, like a brake lock.
You're way ahead of me. You're way ahead. And I'm trying to block away the messages coming through from Beef and Matt.
Yeah, they're probably ahead of me as well. So if anything's happened, we're not knowing right now. But I don't know. Everyone seems to be going right now. I don't know. Don't know the ordering. Can't hear anything.
So here we go. So I'm not even at lights out yet.
Oh, you're not even gone. Okay, no. That is quite far behind, isn't it?
We go lights out, and away we go.
Maybe you'll be able to tell me who it was at the back. Who looked like they locked their brakes on the first corner.
Oh, it looks like Lando.
Was it? I thought it was a white car.
It looks like a McLaren's brake locked. And someone's almost gone up the back of him. An AlphaTauri, maybe.
Well, okay. We'll keep an eye on that while we talk draft strategies.
I was hoping for something quite there. Obviously I want everyone to be safe and sound.
Oh, I've got the order in. Lando is 19th on my ordering right now, so he's dropped a few, hasn't he? Piastri's up to 14, so he was 19th.
Yeah. That's the break. There's definitely a new break.
Gasly's up to 4th.
Fucking
and Magnussen's down to 7th. Everyone else looks roughly in the same.
Wouldn't it be comical though? Seriously, for the last 3 years, I've moaned about somehow through all the different styles of picking races, I've ended up picking second to last every year. It'd be really comical if that somehow trend continues for the 4th year in a row. Like, what are the chances of that?
I think so. Dev is De Vries, right? So he's 20th right now. So he's dropped 5 spaces. So that's Phillips. He's dropped 5 spaces. Sargent's up 2. So he's up to 18th. That's Luke Mann. Most of the people in the middle look roughly the same at the moment. So it's just Norris has gone down 3 spaces.
Fucking Lando. What a
and just to note, so they're the only ones on softs right now. So the McLarens are the only ones on softs.
Which should be a faster wheel as well, so that's not
unless they're worn out, right?
Tyre,
so if they've been worn out over qualifying, and
I think Lando put in some. He put fresh softs on for qualifying, where he did like 3 laps because he kind of had to go for it and still didn't make it. So, look at that. I'm seeing that now. Yeah, so Piastri's up 5 spots.
Piastri's done well.
Who's got?
That's Matt with Piastri.
You must be happy right now then.
Yeah,
a long way to go. A long way to go.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, the first sort of, what do they call it, like a breakdown or a car failure.
My biggest concern is, so far, the McLarens, especially this season, they've got a bit of a problem. They're just retiring the car. They've actually had quite a few retires. So I think the first race in Bahrain, both McLarens retired. I was talking to Shane. I was like, "Well, what do you think your chances are?" Blah blah, and I was like, saying I fancy so and so and so, and I stuck some money on, and then both the fuckers retired. So that was absolutely brilliant.
So someone's just come into the pits here. I have no idea. Oh, so Williams. It's Logan Sargent has come in. He's changing tyres right now.
Off the mediums onto the softs or something.
I can't hear what they're doing. They're changing nose cone as well, so maybe he has had a bit of a knock at the front there.
I would suggest that's probably who went up the back of Lando then.
Oh, on that first corner, was it?
On the first corner.
Potentially that was done.
It feels like that could have been.
Sargent's back down to last then. Sorry, Luke.
Verstappen's made a space on Bottas. Nothing to do with the league, but interesting for those who
nice move by the Haas there. I'm not sure what house that was. Past the Ferrari. Oh, it was Magnussen. He's up to 6th. Well done, Mag. Go on, Kev. Oh, he's gone wide though. Now we're right.
You are so far ahead of me. It's all. What happened to? I won't give much away. I'll be.
It's quite difficult when you got a race in front of you. You've got a race in front of you. So I'll try and keep stomach, but what's going on? But he's going to get overtaken again. But so draft. Yeah.
So look into the draft. Look into the draft itself.
Yeah. Let's go back to the draft.
Certain. Is there any certain players that you give me one player that you really like the look of, and give me one player that you will want to go nowhere near.
In terms of sleepers, or I don't want to give. Totally I don't want to give too many of my sort of sleepers away, but someone who I really like is, and someone's going to take him now, but Jahad Dotson. He had for Washington.
No, Washington. Yeah. Sorry, Washington.
He had a breakout year last year, and I think he's a little underrated behind Terry McLaurin. Obviously, he's got a rookie QB. Is it Sam Howell, I think they've got there? So there's a bit of a negative there. But I think he potentially could probably outplay his ADP. I don't know where we're picking him up now. Something like round 6, 7. It's around there. And I really like Jahad Dotson. He was really good at college. Had a good year last year. So, yeah, Dotson's one for me that I really, really like.
Yeah.
Players I'm staying away from is ones that, you know me, I don't like history with suspensions. I don't like history with injuries. So I would say J.K. Dobbins is something. He's just been too injury prone over the last couple of years, so I can't take him. Swift, even though he's gone to the Eagles, I'm not taking any Eagles players anyway. But again, the injury really concerns me. So anyone who's had an injury like that, for me, I'm not taking them. Jahad Dotson is one that I do like. How about you?
Nice. In textbook style, I am the complete opposite to you with that mindset. I think for a player that I really like, who I thought you were actually saying then, and then realised you'd actually said Dotson, was Romeo Doubs for Green Bay. Rookie receiver last year, got a bit overshadowed by Watson. I believe he plays slot as well. I think with Jordan Love under centre, I've got a cheeky little bit of upside there for him. So I'm you're picking him up in like round
15,
16.
Very late.
You know, he's a what am I trying to say? My head's gone. He's got a lot of upside.
Well, he got injured last year, didn't he? I want to say he got injured quite early.
And that brings me into my next bit, the opposite of being you. I love the upside plays. I love J.K. Dobbins. I love DeAndre Swift. I love Jamal Williams in like the 5th, 6th round. All these boys have been injured. I'm not scared of Breece Hall. Anybody who's like that, who's going to be dropping in ADP because people are a bit worried about the injuries, are people that I will traditionally scoop up.
Yeah, you can get bargains there. You can really get bargains, and it goes back to last year with Keith with Saquon Barkley. Everyone was looking at that and going, "Do you want to touch him?" And I think he got him in about the 3rd or 4th round. And Saquon was, he's top 5. He was a top 5 running back last year. So it does work.
Keith had a
it does work.
Draft last year. Keith, there you go. I'm sorry. I'm just catching up now. I'm seeing the instant. I thought.
Yeah, they did replay it.
I'm way behind there, but I mean, I think I can see me picking second to last year. This is not what I wanted from this draft. I thought I was going to be first, second overall. I thought I was in for it.
I said to you at the time, Norris.
Oh, now he's coming in.
Norris struggled in this race last year. It's a different car this year to it is last year. But I mean, sometimes you get drivers who might struggle at the same track year after year. So but the McLarens are at the moment on my screen. They're 18 and 19. So something's just going wrong, isn't it? So.
Yeah, it's just shite. It's just a shite car. I still see Magnussen's up there in 7th still. So you're quite happy. We're currently 6 laps in.
Yeah, he's doing all right. He's doing fine.
Well, he's only what?
He's two seconds off
What's he in there?
Verstappen.
2 seconds behind Verstappen. That's not bad though. He's only just been taken, but he's still got a second on the
Gasly's fourth, so Keith's doing very well right now. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, no, it's fine. Yeah, so who's someone who you don't want to touch then? So you've said Romeo Dubes, and again, it's probably rookie QB, like I've had with Sam Howell, is a negative. Obviously, Jordan Love, first year. Didn't do a lot last year either.
They've committed to him, though, haven't they? And that means a lot to me. They've committed to him. They give him that contract.
He's going to get some targets, but he could get some really, really bad stuff. You've got...
Who I don't like, who I know other people will love, is DK Metcalf.
I like him. I like him.
With a barge
yeah,
pole.
I like him.
Yeah, I thought you would. Won't go near him by a barge pole. Not for me. Nothing that... Oh, I've going over the chicane. Yeah, won't be taking him. I don't... Seahawks have done well, this year with some of their draft picks and their business they've done. I don't believe that Geno Smith is the guy. Won't go near Geno Smith. He's been in the league, 10, 11 years?
It's a long time, yeah.
And all of a sudden people are like raving about him as if he's fucking good. Like, he had an alright season last year. I'm not that fussed.
Coming out of college, Geno Smith was actually touted as like a top quarterback. Yeah. And he actually dropped in the draft when he came out, and it sort of didn't work out for him. I think he was bummed around a few teams for a long time, but it was a bit of a random year last year. And if he can follow it up, fair play to him. But the Seahawks are going to draft another quarterback, aren't they, next year? You would have thought.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So, yeah, there is that.
But yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the style of player DK is. Yeah, I think there are better options within that team, to be fair. But I won't be talking about them right now.
Yeah, fair play. What about? Let's talk about rookies. Maybe some of the later round rookies. So people will know the Bryce Youngs, the Richardsons, the CJ Strouds, the Jackson Smith and Jigbas. But is there anyone who you can think of sort of lower down that is sort of catching your eye as someone who you're keeping an eye on?
There's quite a few, but now we're in that balancing act of who do I want to talk about.
Only a few people are going to watch this, so.
Well, we said that last time, but I reckon it is people know they're getting a bit of bang for their buck from it.
People are going to watch this are going to know the names anyway. I'm safely going to say, Beef, Shane, and Matt will know the names. So you're probably safe.
Let me just pull this up here. Let me just pull up here and see where I'm happy to go with, because I don't want to just give you any old nonsense. Where are they? I can tell you one that I love, which would be a ballsy play. It's not a rookie, but here we go. So it's not a rookie. It's not a rookie, but I love this pick. Late on, probably going to go for him at some point if it goes my way. Plays for the Chiefs.
Is it?
Got signed last year.
Yeah.
Injured.
Yeah, I know what you're on about. Yeah. So Ross, isn't it? Is his name Ross? Yeah.
It is, yeah. We discussed at golf the other day. That was the guy that I said I had my eye on. Not a rookie, but his 40 time was fast. It was fast. I really like him as a bit of a deep dive guy. In terms of the basic rookies, I'm not that happy on any of the receiver class from these rookies. There's no one that really excites me there. I'm probably going to be out, apart from taking some gambles late on. I'm probably going to be out on a lot of rookies, if I'm honest, outside of your Addisons, Kincaids, Myers, them lot, which are what, third, fourth rounders?
Yeah. There's a few I've got my eye on, which, people who are going to listen to this will hopefully know the names anyway, and I'll try and give a bit of background to why I like them. So the first is, I think it's Jaden Reed for Green Bay. You look at their wide.
I don't even know who that is.
You look at their. Well, he's a wide receiver. So you look at their wide receiver class. You've got Christian Watson, Roman Dubes. You've talked about. Nobody else. So Reed potentially could come in there as a slot 3, and get a few receptions and maybe surpass Dubes. I think Watson's number 1 there, but I like Reed. And another one similar to that.
What round was he taking?
I think it was 3 or 4.
Okay.
So yeah, Reed's 1. The next one's Mingo for the Panthers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So again, the Panthers. If you look at their wide receivers, they've got no one. I think it's Adam Thielen and DJ Chark. I want to say is their 1 and 2. So potentially someone coming in brand new like Mingo and Bryce Young might form a bit of a relationship.
It's the young thing that I like.
Yeah.
Realistically, they're probably going to be camping in together. When they first go to OTAs and stuff, the new boys coming in, they're going to be doing a lot together. That's just standard practice. Yeah. It was talked a lot last year when fucking Max is flying. No surprise there. It was talked a lot when in Falcons training camps when Drake London came on board, and he was spending just like all the time under the sun. With Ridder. It was him, Ridder and Algier were just spending all the time together, going like hanging out together, doing bits together, and you expect them to then form that kind of bond because they're creating those relationships. So yeah, I think that's a good little rookie there. But the problem I have with this is like how much are you giving away? Like these sorts of players can literally, in Dynasty, these are players that can literally be the difference maker for you. For in a wide receiver as well for like 9 years, 10 years.
For me, they're 50-50 shots. I think with the wide receiver class, unless you're getting picked in round 1 like those 4 were, your Addisons, your Johnsons, I think they're shots in the dark, really.
Gambles. But it's just a case of, for me, the bit I struggle with, which will get some laughs, is do I want to give my shot in the dark, my little kind of one I've been looking up to other people, or do I want to am I happy to talk about it?
Well, do you want to do a Darren Waller and get Dan picking him first round? You could do that, and he ruins his ADP, and you get to pick a vet up in a good round. So,
got a bad. Yeah, I mean, people gave me some grief for that, but poor old Waller. Great.
Yeah, we should talk about Waller actually. He's moved to the Giants this year, new lease of life under Daniel Jones.
I think he's got. Yeah, I think he's got a chat. I think he's a good player.
He is a good player. He's a good player. We do joke about him a lot, and Dan obviously absolutely hates him. I think he throws darts at him, probably once a week. But he's a great player, and this year he could be, top 10 tight end. That's realistic. It's realistic.
I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised in the slightest. Yards off the carry, tick. Big reach. Getting up and getting the ball, tick. Tight end where he's going to just get like dump off shots constantly if it's required, tick. Like in a PPR format, I love Darren Waller. Darren Waller was a huge part for my Super Bowl winning season.
Matt admitted as well. He picked up Waller. I think he was on the waivers. I want to say, and Matt won it as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, he goes chasing the ring. Granted, I don't think he actually played a single snap for...
probably not.
For Hot Locker.
Probably, he had Everett, didn't he? So, yeah, probably not, but...
But, I mean, just having him on the team, talking him up, showing him what winning looks like, and he's done the job.
Who knows? We know Dan's not going to pick him, so... Someone's going to take him.
We do know. So, one thing that I do like the thought of is, who do you want around you when you're picking? So, we've talked a lot about kind of... where you want to pick, but who do you want around you picking? I'll set you up. I'll set you up. So for me, I don't want to be anywhere near Beef, Ollie, Keith. I don't want to be anywhere near them when I'm picking. I have it a lot of years. I've got a good idea of kind of where they're going with things, but for a fact they're going to be like pretty well researched. They're going to have an idea of who it is, why they're going for it, blah, blah, blah. Probably not going to get flustered. There are other GMs, AP, poor old AP, renowned flustered after having too many to drink. I'd love to be around AP because I could see AP scrolling through the list and just going, I'm taking Hunter Renfro in the third. You know, like that
Clemson boy,
the sort of thing that he'd like. Yeah, you know, that's what I mean. Like, he just like, yes. And I want to be around. I want to be around like an AP, Slimbo. Dan would be the dream to be next to, if I'm honest. That's kind of where I'd like to be. Generally, you know, if I could pick, I mean, it's not going to happen here. I'm just looking down. It's horrendous. But if I could be picking fourth, fifth, in around, you know, with them kind of one side of me, I'd be absolutely loving life. How about who do you want?
I'm going to be devil's advocate. I'm going to say I want to be in the mix. I want to be next to people who I know what they're going to do, because that makes my life easier. And we know this time you can trade picks, which makes it's an added element there. So if I'm say it's Shane Beef, me, or Keith, someone who I know knows what they're going to do, I can go, oh, hold on a sec, maybe I want to jump ahead of them because I know they're going to take a tight end, they're going to take a running back, and I can take that player that I know they're going to take. When you've got a Will or a Dan, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do. Dan was taking, you know, running backs I'd never heard of in the fifth last year. Zamir White, I think he took in the fifth. I mean, he's admitted now that it was his daughter who was doing his draft halfway through, and she was probably just picking names. So, for me, you might jump ahead of someone like Dan and go, "Oh God, he's going to take wide receiver I want," and then he's just going to pick some random tight ends you never heard of. So, for me, I'd rather pick around people that I know what they're going to do. It could throw you an absolute curveball. You know, you got Dan there, and you go, "Oh, he's going to pick up that running back from Green Bay or whatever." And it's like, "Oh no, he's got this tight end." You're like, "Oh, what the hell's he doing?"
That is difficult because that's probably something I think is worthwhile for some of the others who maybe don't think about it. You know, when you're drafting, it's important to be looking at who's around you and what their team looks like before you take your pick. That's probably a little trick that I know some don't do. You know, and I know you'll do it, and I do it, and a couple of others do it. Of just before you take the pick, right? You know, I really want a running back, say, but then you're going to be picking again, say, in another 4 or 5 picks. Okay, what does the other teams look like? Oh, maybe I can actually let that guy go a bit, let him slide a bit, because the others have all got running backs, and they're going to be looking for a wide receiver, a QB, a tight end, and they might just fall down to you, and then you can get the premium at that other position. Something to think about for some of the other teams, because it is that's helped me a lot over the years. Let's be honest, I'm a renowned good drafter. You know, I'm a renowned good drafter.
Yeah, well, it's going to be good this year when we're in person. It's going to be a little bit slower. I think what we're doing, like a 2-minute pick or something like that.
Is that too long?
It shouldn't be too long in person. I think that's too short in person, to be honest with you. Because if people want to trade and stuff, we're probably going to have to say, right, pause it a sec, because AP's off in the pisser trying to make a trade with fucking Matt who's at the bar. You know, it's going to be mayhem. So 2 minutes is probably too short.
And I think we need to work out how that's going to operate, and probably need to utilise the knowledge of the boys who've done it before. Like that feels. I feel like there's an area there that we need to really nail down. You know, there's got to be a time limit, for example, on how long you can look to trade. If you have to pause it, you know, there's got to be a time limit attached to how long you can negotiate, surely, because otherwise you could just have every other fucking...
Yeah. I think in terms of trading picks, I would assume it's only going to be sort of like 1, 2, or 3 that people are really going to trade for, and then it'd be like, oh, it's a fucking free-for-all. So hopefully people are going to do that up front. Once we've got this ordering after tonight, you know, we're going to know the order, and people are going to go, oh, maybe I want to trade up, and I'm going to give away some picks this year / next year, and we might know a little bit more. Maybe it will never happen. Maybe no one's going to trade picks at all because it's too tight close, but we'll see.
Has Magnuson pitted?
Yeah, he's just pitted. He's gone down all the way to about 18th, I think. 17th. Okay, he pitted. So yeah, a lot of them are coming in now, I think.
Sense. So it looks like Logan Sargent's still hanging down the bottom.
He's 27 seconds. Is that off the top or is that off the next person?
No,
fucking, he's going to get lapped soon, isn't he?
And then Norris, and then it looks like they're the only 3 at the bottom that haven't pitted from what I'm seeing here. But
Sargent did pit.
Fucking that move on Alonso was just so easy. so easy for Max.
He's up to second now, isn't he? Yeah, flying.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting after all these pits to see what tyres they obviously take and where the position. So you've got to pit once, right, throughout the whole race, at least once.
Yes. Correct.
Most of them will obviously pit around now, is it, and then go for the whole race.
It looks like depends on what tyres they start.
A lot of them are going for the hards,
so that's the strategy.
The hards are less wearing, right? So they should go out to the end. I would assume.
Yeah, they'll go longer. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to. So currently we've got Sargent, Piastri, Norris. Oh no, so okay, so the McLarens haven't pitted.
No, they haven't pitted. No.
This is.
Yeah, no. Sargent's pitted once as well, so you're down there, aren't you?
So this is the where you're not following it close enough. It's very confusing when you just keep looking at the leaderboard, just like, oh shit, it's like, no, it's not. It's not. They've just come out the pits.
So, rookies again. I've got a few more actually. I might keep them close to my chest. Maybe we'll do another pod before, but I've got a few more in my back pocket that I like, but I'm not going to disclose them.
I'm happy to do a rookie convo, but I think everyone. I think it'd have to be a league-wide thing if we were doing a rookie convo, which would be quite cool if we could somehow work out. What I'm aware of is there will be certain people who will be making notes. They'll be doing their own bits. They'll be making any notes, and there might be one little tidbit that one of us might accidentally disclose. That then might just mean that person was just happened to be one before us, and then there's that person that they were talking about. I'll just take him instead, and then I'll be livid. I'll be absolutely livid.
I think if we talk about them, their ADP will be increased around for those type of people who haven't looked at it. I'd assume. In terms, they're going to go through the list, going, I haven't got a fucking clue of this. Oh, there's that. That's that bloke. Oh, that's that Reed. I'll tell you, I'll take him now. For me, that's
my
fine.
Concern. And it's only for but my concern will be like the one person before me.
Yeah, that would
just
be
about to pick, and I'm getting all excited. Like, this is where I'm going to take him. This is where I'm going to take him. And boom! Oh, for fuck's sake! I could see it being a thing. I really could. As much as I could see some form of accident. Come on, some form of red flag would be brilliant for me right now.
Nothing going on my screen right now. Russell's just pitted, but no, I want a Ferrari. Who's it? Leclerc's in. But no, nothing other than that.
So one thing I guess we need to do as well is it'll be auto-generated. The game weeks, obviously you get a lot of grief traditionally over scheduling.
Yeah, that's true.
So we probably need to come up with a way of screenshotting screen recording you clicking the.
Button. I got a lot of shit last year, didn't I? About my. So I'll definitely be recording that this time. If there's a way in Sleeper that's just randomised, then I'll record it, or you record it, screen record it. That's all you did on the NFL app is you just press randomise and it would just create a thing. There was some weird thing last year though that sort of people were playing each other back-to-back weeks, weren't they? Like later on in the year, I think AP played Aaron twice or something weird like that. Shane played Matt twice in a row. It was really weird. So maybe we'll try and avoid that because that doesn't feel right going into playoffs that you play the same person twice. Feels a bit weird.
No,
but,
that was weird. In fact, the results were weird for that. As well,
it doesn't really work out for me. So yeah, I'm sure there's a way that you can randomise the scheduling, but we'll do that once we get the draft in order, I think. Something that I was talking about today, and we were talking about, was the taxi slots with the rookies. I think it's important to mention again for the people who are new to Dynasty, new to this format, that you have 23 picks, 23 draft picks. So that's 10 starting, 10 bench, 3 rookie taxi. So if you draft 23 non-rookies...
We had some IR spots as well, didn't
we? But that's not included in the draft. That's not included in the draft.
No, but just so people are aware. So you go,
there's IRs. But technically, I guess in your 23, you could draft people who were injured or suspended and then stick them on IR. So yeah, that's a possibility. It might be ruining your strategy there with Jameson Williams, but you can do that. If you want to draft Jameson Williams in your 23, you can stick him on IR, and then you could go to waivers and get a rookie and stick him on taxi. But it's worth noting that for your 23, if you don't draft a rookie, which is unlikely, I would say, that you're going to have to drop 3 players.
I think it's very unlikely. For most of the lads have never done a draft of more than what did we do before?
15, 16 players, was it?
You know, so there's going to be an extra 5, 6, 7 even picks that people won't necessarily know people who they are. The chances are you're more likely to get some rookies in there. I'll actually be amazed if there's a team who has to drop more than one player.
Yeah. I mean, and it's worth noting as well with the taxi slots that you don't have to put players on it until the start of the season. So that's the cut-off. When they're on there at the start of the season, they're there until you take them off. But until the start of the season, you can sort of put them on, take them off, go on waivers, do whatever you want, you know, because there's going to be all the depth charts coming out on the off-season. So there's going to be all that going on.
Sorry, you're totally right. Sorry, Luke Mann just messaged saying, does the Sergeant want to pick up the pace or what?
He is a bit off, isn't he? 22 seconds behind.
Probably needs to, because he's 21 seconds behind De Vries right now, so probably needs to.
Yeah.
Poor Luke, what a bloke. He thought he had the first overall in our redraft league, was willing to do whatever it needed to be to get that first overall pick. And now, as it currently stands, 20 laps in, anything can happen, but as it currently stands, he's picking 12 overall.
Yeah, that's not good, is it?
That's no fun. With after the McLaren's pick, likely me picking before him as well.
The problem picking either early or late as well is you get those 2 picks, which I hate. You know where you get that first one and you're like, right, I know what I need. I need a wide receiver. You get and you go, right, I need a wide receiver. And you go next and you go, oh fuck, I'm up next as well. And you're like, shit, I've got to think 24 picks in advance here. Yeah,
you're waiting so far.
You're looking at players that you're like, I don't want him now, but you're like, if I don't take him now, he's gone by the time it comes back.
Reach.
Yeah,
you have to
reach massively.
If there's a player that you like, you have to reach. Because you just can't trust them, and you know the fact that people are going to be switched on with some of their picks. I think it's a massive, massive hindrance picking late in this redraft league. I really do, and I think it's going to determine. For me personally, it'll determine what strategy I go for and how late I'm picking.
I think the only reason it's difficult in this compared to a redraft is because the QBs are so important. Because at 12, you're going to get a good wide receiver or a good running back, but you're probably not going to get a good QB.
It's the fall off is so big. The only thing I've debated in my own head is punt in year one. You know, if I'm picking last, punt year one, I pick up a shitload of rookies and first year players, second year players, and almost punt year one. Happy to not necessarily do any good, with the mindset of knowing who's coming in at QB for first overall next year.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do that, definitely.
That's generally like, but then the thought I kind of started thinking, that might be a play then, because all of a sudden you can get a load of guys who potentially in 2-3 years value could be immense. But the flip side of that is you can't guarantee anything because it's overall points. So
that's true.
You could end up coming last in the league, and then your overall points just happens to be slightly better than somebody else who came 7th. And you're not picking first.
You've got a good load of bench players that are getting good points. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So that doesn't work, does it? So don't want to do that.
No. So like, I thought it was. I was literally thinking I was on to winning formula, and then I was like, oh no, that's not going to work. There's just too many anomalies with that, isn't there? I
mean, at 12, you could go for a QB 1 or 2 and take like Kyler Murray and maybe like a Jack Smith and Jigba or someone like that. And maybe go
Yeah, I
Maybe.
do like that. I don't like Kyler Murray.
Like a Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott, those sort of mid-tier QBs. At least you know they're safe for a few years.
Depends how much of a risk you want to take. You know, I'm if you like to generally play it more safe. Some guys in the league like to go for the big deep threat players. You know, and they like very much hit or miss. You know, some days they'll ball out and some days they'll get nothing. It depends what kind of style you like to play, I guess. My style, I'm fully happy with what my style is. I'll take the upside. I'll take the ridiculously low floor. Like, you know, anything could happen, but I've also got a ridiculously high ceiling. That's why I kind of, you know, I love those intro. Trey Lance is a QB that I'm eyeing right up.
Yeah, he's not for me. I'm totally the opposite. I'm higher floor, lower ceiling. So I would be looking at someone like Daniel Jones. You know, last year he had a decent year.
Yeah, and I couldn't go.
Russell Wilson, those sort of players.
Couldn't go anywhere near Dan Jones. Well, who did we discuss?
Deshaun Watson was the one we discussed, wasn't it? Yeah, I like Deshaun. He was really good. He was excellent at the Texans. Obviously, had that rapist scandal. But the last few games, actually, I had looked at his stats, and for the last few games of the Browns, he was really good. He threw like 3 touchdowns a game. He was getting 20 odd points.
I've been hearing rumours though that Jerry Jeudy and/or Courtland Sutton could be gone
for the Broncos.
For the Broncos, sorry,
for Wilson.
But they could be gone for Wilson. Yeah,
I've not heard.
Have you been hearing?
Not heard that.
Not heard that. Have you been hearing that at all? To try and claim back some draft capital.
Why? Because they threw so much at Wilson. Oh, okay.
Wilson, yeah, and obviously Wilson's been pretty shite as well. So yeah, we could see some changes, and that's the point in saying that is, what does that mean coming over to Watson? You know, are we going to get a Courtland Sutton over there?
Yeah.
Are you going to get a who else is out there that's pretty decent right now? There's quite a few. I sent that list in the other day. There's quite a few like vet receivers who are out there who could do some bits.
Yeah, I love Deshaun Watson. I think he was great at Clemson. He was great at Texans, and obviously just had that horrible rapist scandal. And he's gone to the Browns, and he was sort of feeling himself out. I think after the suspension and getting back into the league. I think this year he's going to be really good. So I'd happily take Deshaun Watson over a Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott type any day, really.
I don't think many people go near Dak, would they? That's got to be done.
The fans are calling for his head after that playoff loss. Fucking hell, Jesus Christ! It was dreadful, wasn't it? Yeah, it was dreadful. Yeah, it was nearly as bad as last year, but the fans were calling for his head after that. But obviously, we're sticking with him because we paid him so much money. But I was surprised we didn't draft a QB sort of late this year. But we've got Cooper Rush as a backup. But I think we.
Did you sign him like 2 years?
Cooper Rush. Yeah, Rush has been on the roster for a while. Yeah, 2 or 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was quite decent actually. Dak got injured last year quite early on, and Cooper Rush I think won like 4 games in a row.
He did right, yeah.
We lost to the Eagles, which is obviously, but he won all the other games. So fair play to him. But yeah,
I saw a comment. Sorry, I'm really struggling. I apologise to everyone on this. I'm really struggling with this kind of doing both. My brain isn't able to do both very well, so I apologise to everyone. But I saw that Jerry Jones said that they're not. Jerry Jones has come out and said that he's not. He potentially. What were the words he used? He was basically implying that Zeke could come back.
Yeah, they've said that, but I think Zeke has said it's not a possibility. Yeah,
Oh, really? What?
I don't think it's. They would love to have him back.
Why would Zeke say that though? Because didn't Zeke say something like he would be willing to take a
I think it was more of a Jerry Jones was being like, yeah, we'd have him back, and Zeke was like, it's not really a possibility, is it, mate? I think it was more of that. In terms of the cash, it's not going to work. I think Zeke was being more realistic. I actually saw quite a funny post today on Reddit about Zeke, where he was in a casino next to this old lady, this 80-year-old lady, and playing blackjack, and she sort of finished up, and it was about, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night, and he cashed her like $2,000 and was like, nah, go on, sit here next to me and we'll play blackjack all night. And she played with him all night until 4 a.m. And didn't know who the fuck he was, just thought he's some loaded bloke. And the dealer was like, "You do know who that is, right?" And she was like, What no? She got a photo with him, sent it to her son, and he was like, "That's fucking Ezekiel Elliott, what are you doing?" And apparently the casino comped her 2 nights in a room as well, because they thought she was with him. It's hilarious. Quite funny.
Outstanding. So we're now on lap 25. Have they all pitted? Because I'm seeing Lando back up into 16th.
I haven't seen Lando pit, no. Old Piastri. I can't see. Although Norris started on softs, right? So he must have pitted because he's on hards right now.
Like. I don't know. I do apologise. I'm really struggling with trying to do both here.
Yeah, fair play to that Mark guy who watches the Man United games and commentates at the same time. It must be really hard.
I don't know. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
How they do that?
And there's
Jesus Christ! Just keep.
Yeah, you must be like, what the fuck's going on here? No idea what's going on here, Jeff. That's how Cammy did it, right?
Yeah, no, that's how I feel. I feel like Cammy, to be fair. Right now.
Oh wait, pit stops. Yeah, Norris has been in.
Yeah, so...
Piastri's been in. There's a few who haven't. So Verstappen, Ocon, Hamilton, Hulkenberg, Yuki Tsunoda, Stroll, and that Chinese guy. I can't pronounce his name. Zhang Yu, that's the one. Yeah, so they've all not been in, but everyone else has. So, yeah, Norris is 16th right now. Magnussen's 12th. Gasly 10th. Yuki Tsunoda obviously hasn't pitted. Hulkenberg's up there, though. 7th.
I think this is probably my, especially being in Miami, I think this is probably my favourite one that we've done for draft order selection. Obviously, sadly, it'll be the last time it ever does happen. But I think it's probably my favourite one because it's just gone on that bit longer. Last year with the horses was great fun.
It was a golf last year, wasn't it? The horses the year before.
Oh yeah, shit. But didn't you have a twist? Was it the golf?
No, it
twist?
was the
horses.
There's a bit of a twist on both of them, but it was the horse. The golf was at St Andrews, wasn't it? But I guess with the golf.
No, but you did something, and you gave everyone the thing, like the number. It was the horse racing. The horse racing was the best because you did the horse race and did the order, and it's like you gave us all numbers. We're like, oh, that's our number, that's our draft order, and then it turned out to be the number of the horse. So it completely changed the head. That was very good from you. That was very good. But the golf was good. But I
think this is better than the golf because with the golf, we had like Rory McIlroy and Cam Smith who were up there, and you sort of knew roughly they were going to be near the top. Because they don't fall that much, do they? But in this, they're sort of all over the place right now. With standings, because of the pits and stuff, you don't really know where they are.
And especially being the 6 worst teams, I think that was it. Matt made that call. I think that was a great shout. Otherwise, yeah, if you'd got Verstappen, you'd go okay. To be fair, if you've got a Ferrari or Red Bull, you pretty much, or you get Alonso, you know that you're going to be up in the decent picks. Whereas now with this, it's kind of like, oh fuck me. I've never looked at the bottom of the table so much, I tell you.
Well, we know Sargent's last, right? I mean, unless someone crashes out sometime soon, Sargent's got to be last.
Incredible, though. It would be incredible if... Who's at the very top at the moment? Ocon. Who's got Ocon?
No, Keith. That's Will. Will's got Ocon. Yeah, Gasly's Keith.
Will. It'd be hilarious if... I'm just picking it off what the table looks like right now. But if he's leading in terms of our table, and then a couple laps to go, and it's like
I know.
Like you're kind of like screaming him over, and then he ends up coming in 12th pick. That'd be so funny. That'd be so funny. That'll be his second ever first rounder, wouldn't it?
He did overall. Have one, didn't he?
He's had a first overall before.
Did he get Chris McCaffrey? I want to say a few years ago, maybe 2 years ago.
I think he did.
No, I think he was. He should have taken Kamara, and he took Christian McCaffrey and then traded him to Phillips. I want to say after he got injured. Yeah, and then picked up Kamara from whoever it was for his old team. Idiot move.
So that'll be an interesting one. If he's picking first overall,
he's going to take Mahomes. Sure, he's going to take Mahomes. Sure. He knows who Mahomes is. He'll take Mahomes. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, you never know. Could take Kamara, Derek Carr. Drew Brees. Yeah, he might take Drew Brees.
I heard. I think he was taking the Saints defense.
That's another thing I was going to mention actually with defense and kicker is I don't think I'm going to draft him. I'm not going to draft him. I'm going to leave it. Reason being is you never know what's going to happen in the off season, so you take a few flyers on your draft, and then when it comes to the start of the year, you just sort of pick up on the waivers and pick up a kicker and a defensive. Really, how much are they going to impact the game week? It's just fucking luck. It's luck.
I think there are certain kickers, where
they're the Tuckers and stuff, but
which
I'm
would be
not
interested
in that.
And there are probably 3 or 4 defenses that, again, I would say I'm very confident are going to be good defenses.
This year, next year, maybe, but going forward.
But I don't really care. I don't really care there after that, because no matter what, if you pick them up. If you did the day before the game start, if you go, right, I'm going to change this guy for this guy or whatever, and take out this defense, like, it's still just a random, but you get less choice. For me, it depends where you're at, isn't it? So, I mean, if I'm getting that kind of the guys that I see in that top tier, and I've got them higher up my draft board, then I'll take them there. But if not, then I'll just leave it to last. And again, if there's someone late that I like, I might take someone. Last year I didn't draft a defense last year.
And yeah, you just take a hit on someone, don't you? I mean, there's so much time in between draft and the start of the season that you could be trades. If like you say with the Broncos, if people are trading about, it could shake everything up, and you've got a player there sat that you picked really late that somebody might want. You could trade him for a pick and a defense or something. So it's a potential draft strategy.
One thing that I thought was interesting that I thought you were going to go to was the fact that who people support.
That is a factor. Yeah, it's definitely a factor.
I think that's quite interesting. So we've got another Cowboys fan in. So that's kind of another person who, is going to be, even if it's 5% more biased towards someone who's a Cowboys player. Yeah. That's somebody that you have to keep aware of now. We've now got, I don't know how it's happened, we've now got 3 Falcons fans within a 12-man league. That's going to put a target on your Bijans, your Drakes, your Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
It's just going to. Because one of us is going to want one of them, realistically.
Yeah, no, it's going to happen.
So, it's I thought that was quite interesting. So it's almost like a benefit if you support like fucking the Rams.
Have we dropped all the Jags fans as well? I think we have, haven't we?
Yeah, no Jags fans.
They've all gone.
2 last year, none
They've
this
lost.
year.
They're out.
They've all gone. It's like at Wembley. What was it the other year at Wembley? I've got a video where they're all leaving early. No. That was funny. That was a funny day. That was, to be fair. They were getting so much. Aaron was giving them so much grief to this bloke, and so he was giving this bloke grief, and then obviously what happened. They lost, and this bloke came up and found. He didn't find Aaron. He found me. And started giving Shane loads of shit. And like Shane being Shane was like, what? And they just absolutely destroyed him with like his knowledge of football. And it was a really comical moment where this bloke kind of like went, oh, all right, sorry mate, and just walked off. It was quite funny. I was just there like, this is all stemmed from a bloke getting shit from one of us that doesn't even found that bloke. Quite good. So what are we on now? Lap 31.
Last
still got
31.
Sargent at the bottom, Piastri, De Vries, Norris, Alex Albon, Bottas, Joe Ganjiu, Kevin Magnussen. Kevin
12th, yeah, I think
down.
he must have had a bad pit, I think. Maybe he can get back up.
I'm assuming they've all pitted and they're all up to date on the same time.
Yeah, they're all on hards
now. Yuki Tsunoda, Magnussen, Gasly, Yuki Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, and Esteban
I think.
Ocon.
I mean, we're probably going to close this pod now at about 55 minutes. So should we just rack off where everyone is stood? I think it's about halfway, isn't it? 32, just over halfway. So
not far
we've got
off
Ocon in 5th, who I believe is Will Slim. Hulkenberg in 8th. Not sure who Hulkenberg is. I want to say maybe Ollie. Yuki Tsunoda's up in 9th. I think that's Dan. Gasly in 10th, so that's Keith. Magnussen in 12th, that's me. Bottas was Ollie, apologies. Albon in the Williams, 15th, so that's Beef. Norris, that's you, 16th. The Chinese guy, I can't pronounce his name, I believe is Shane. 18th De Vries, so that's Phillips.
That's not fun. So currently, I'm pinched between Shane
your
and
beef and Shane, yeah,
That's
and then
not
after
what I
you've got AP with De Vries, Piastri with Matt, and then Sargent with Luke. So that's a horrible run, really, coming back on that. And you got Bottas in front, so Ollie as well, and then me, Magnussen. So and Gasly and Keith. So you got Keith, me, Ollie, Beef, and then you, and then Shane, AP, Matt. So that's a tight knit group in there. Yeah, but Will Slim's looking at number 1 right now with Esteban Ocon. Exciting times.
Exciting times.
Good luck.
Best of luck to all. We'll have a review after. Apologies for me not being able to multitask at all. But yeah, we'll see you.
Cheers,
on the
everyone,
side.
and we'll see you next time in episode 2.